Hi, this tutorial video is for assignment 1.2.5, square column with holes. So you're going to go ahead and make the object, and then I'm also going to show you how to get the volume of the object. So in your final submission, you will need to give me the object file, and you will also need to tell me what the actual volume of the object is. So let's get started. So we're in Fusion. As usual, we're going to go up to our data panel. If you are not already in your main projects folder, you need to click on the home icon. So you're in your projects, find your unit 1. Oops, wrong one. Try that again. Find your unit 1. Open, okay. You should at this point have 1.2.5 sketches, extrusions, revolutions, and you should also have 1.3.2 drill block. So we're going to go ahead and create a new one. I have an untitled work area. So I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go to Save, and I'm going to title this 1.2.5 Square Column with Holes. And I'm going to make sure it's saved in my location of Unit 1. I'm going to click Save. Okay. And you should see it populate in your project. I'm going to go ahead and click the X on my data panel to get it out of the way so I have more workspace. To start off, remember you always want to double check and make sure your view cube is correct. If your view cube orientation is not correct, you need to go ahead and stop and look in Canvas for the video for view cube orientation and get it reset properly. Okay. Next thing we want to do, we want to make sure our document settings are set, the units are set to inches. If not, click on that icon and go ahead and get them changed. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and create a sketch. And we're going to, went up here to create sketch. At this point, I'm going to be moving a little bit faster, and I'm going to be expecting that you know where to find certain things. So I click create sketch. I'm going to go down to my origin. Today we want to use the XZ plane. So we're going to start with the bottom and build upwards. The way you choose which plane you're going to use depends on the object, the design of your object, and what direction it needs to face. So we're going to start with the XZ plane today. Today I'm going to use a center diameter circle. I'm going to click on my center diameter circle. Click on my origin point. I'm going to start dragging out. I want this to be 1.25 inches in diameter. And then I can click Finish Sketch. So I should just have a circle there at the bottom. We need to extrude this. And remember, you can use your marking menu to do some of the features. So if you right-click anywhere on here, if you right-click your mouse, it'll bring up your marking menu. And you can go down to Extrude. You can also, remember, go up here to the Create and do it that way. I'm going to use it through my marking menu, Extrude. I want my extrusion to be 0.5. And then I can click OK. Now I have what looks like a little disc there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a square column coming out of this. So I'm going to go to Create Sketch. I'm going to click on the top of my circle because that's where I want that column to come from. It's coming from that circle. I'm going to go on up to Create Rectangle, and I want this to be a center rectangle because I want it to be centered in the middle of that circle. So I'm going to then click on my origin again, start dragging that out, and I want this to be 0.5. I'm going to tab, I'm going to do 0.5 again. So it's going to end up being a square, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to click Finish Sketch. Okay, I need to extrude this square. And I want that to extrude out to 1.75 inches. So I'm going to get my extrude from my marking menu again. I'm going to choose that square and I'm going to type in 1.75. And I'm going to click OK. So there we have circle and we have a column extruded from there. I'm going to put another circle up on top, and the circle I put on top is going to be the same diameter as the one at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do create sketch, which if you do your marking menu, you just go to sketch, which is right here on the marking menu. And I want to do a center diameter circle, which is one of my options. I'm going to click on the top of my square. If you need to, you can kind of turn it this way so you can see it better. Click on the top of the square. Now you're going to click in the center and start dragging out. And we want this also to be 1.25 because we said the same diameter. We're going to click Finish Sketch. I'm going to go to my home view so I can see what I have. So I have my disc at the bottom, or my cylinder at the bottom. I have my column, and then I have the circle up at the top. I'm going to extrude this circle at the top. I'm going to extrude. I want this extrusion to be, oh, I need to click on it. Now, when you click on the circle, it's not going to also take the square, so you need to click twice. You're going to click on the circle, then you need to make sure you click on the square. So both the circle and the square should be blue. Once they're both blue, you'll see the option to put in the value, and I'm going to put 0.25. I want that to be 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to click OK. Okay. So if it doesn't look like this, if the square is cut out in the middle, that means you did not click that square. This should be a solid cylinder here at the top. Okay. Now I'm going to put 4 holes in the column. I'm going to click on the front view in my view cube so that I'm facing here. These are where I'm going to put the squares, or the circles. We're going to do 3 circles. I think I may have said 4. I meant 3. So 3 circles, or 3 holes, sorry, not circles. 3 holes on the column. So I'm going to start off by going up to my create hole. I'm going to make sure my placement says at point single hole. And I'm going to click anywhere on this column. Okay, that's the face I want to put them on. My reference, I'm going to click on my first reference. And I'm going to click either the right or left edge. It doesn't matter which. And I want that to be 0.25 because that's going to put that in the center from right to left. Then I'm going to click my next reference, and I'm going to click where the column meets the cylinder. And I want that to be 0.5. I want that to be 1/2 inch from there to the center of my circle. Or my hole. Sorry, I keep saying circles. My hole. I want this to be a through hole. So I'm going to set my extent to all. I'm going to keep everything at simple, simple, and flat. And I want to make sure the diameter of the hole is 0.25 inches. Then I'll click OK. There's my hole. I'm going to do another hole. So I'm going to go up to create hole again. Placement is at point, single hole. And I'll click somewhere on there. Again, my reference, I'm going to do either the right or left edge. I want this to be 0.25. Then I'm going to do my other reference. And I'm going to go from the same reference we used last time where the 2 objects meet. This time I want this to be 1 inch. And again, I want the extent to be all. We're going to keep everything simple, simple, flat, and we want to make sure it's a diameter of 0.25 inches, and we'll click OK. So now we have 2 holes. Our third hole, create hole again, and do the same steps again. Placement is at point. I want to click on the face. Okay, my first reference, I'm going to click on either the right or left edge and change this to 0.25. Then I'm going to check my other reference. Nope, it's not letting me do it. Okay, so I'm going to change that then. I'm going to do my select, and I'm going to actually, let's see, let me cancel out. Let's start this over. Give it a minute. There we go. Let's try that again. It was giving me some glitching. So start. Okay. So I'll start with my first reference, 0.25. Then my next reference is going to be from the same area where we've been referencing. This time it's going to be 1.5. We still need it to be distance of all. And it's going to be simple, simple, flat. And we want this to be 0.25 inches, just like the others, and click OK. Okay, at this point, we have completed our square column with the holes. But there is something extra I want you to do on this assignment. I want you to be able to tell me the volume of this object. So I'm not going to show you that on this object because I don't want to give you the volume. I want you to be able to find the volume. So I'm going to open up another file that I have here. And I'm going to show you how to get volume on this one. And it works the same way for every object. So what you're going to do, you have your completed object. You're going to go up into the browser where the object's name is. So on our square column, it would be right here where it says 1.2.5 square column. You would right click and you're going to go to properties. Okay. So on my mini cherry tart, I'm going to go up to the name. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to properties. I go to properties. I have a little text box that opens up. And I want to scroll down. I don't need the general. I don't need manage. I need physical. So I'm going to scroll down until I see physical. I'll click on physical. And I'm going to have to scroll down again a little bit. When you go down there, you'll see mass. You'll see volume. You'll see density. You'll see area. See all kinds of other stuff. And we're going to talk about a bunch of this other stuff later on when we get into some other activities. But this is what I want you looking at right now is the volume. So the volume of this object here is 2.023 cubic inches. Okay, and you do need to tell me that it's in cubic inches. So when you give me the answer in Canvas for the square column with holes, make sure you include the units. So once you finish this assignment, your 1.2.5 square column with holes, you are going to submit this object. And you're going to submit this in Canvas like you normally do. And then in the comments there on the Canvas assignment, you are going to tell me what the volume of the object is. And don't forget to include the units. Your units should be cubic inches.